Hello everybody and welcome back to more Rise of the Ordning. I'm super excited to get rolling in here tonight. But as we're getting going, just a couple of brief announcements as we're getting started. If you're with us on Twitch, hello, welcome. I hope you are doing well today. If you are with us on YouTube, hello, welcome to you too, and I hope you are doing well today. Remember to snag your bingo card. I've been saying it every week for a month that I'm redoing it, but it's not my fault.
I can redo it.
I know. Honestly, I should just make Sly do it because I obviously have not gotten to it. I also haven't gotten to... I wanted to go over a whole bunch of music and add more music, and I have not done that. That's been on my list for over a month. Anyway, as saying, we're gonna get rolling on things tonight. Just a little bit of a reminder, I do have a new podcast episode coming out on Thursday, so... if you're watching on YouTube, it will have been a couple days ago, so go check that out. And if you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. And as always, just a little bit of a shout out to the Discord channel if you want to come hang out and chit chat. That's always available in there too. Okay, with that being said, we are going to get going tonight. Thank you to my good old friends in Twitch who are dropping some links. Appreciate you. Okay. Oh, that's why I reloaded. I was gonna start different music and it was not working. Okay. So, last we left off, the group had taken a bit of a pit stop to visit Nick's long-lost aunt, who we've been referring to as not the naughty aunt, which is the necromancer Aunt Lily. After a bit of a trek on the airship, including Zari establishing a new pen pal and collecting some more crows, we witnessed Nyx attempting to kill said crows. Ravasi wrote some music and Komori worked on training her mind. The group landed and made the rest of the trek through the mountain pass on foot. There, they were greeted by one of her children, a 5-year-old named Ren, who wears a witch hat and brims with magical power. She took very quickly to Nyx and the group and tried to make friends with you. But after being escorted by her to the magical cabin, you met the other 3 children of this family here and subsequently found out them to be Nyx's cousins. Tara, the teenage Fey druid, Cyrus, a very human-looking yet conniving tween boy, and Theo, a half-draconic little barbarian child. Kieran, their father, and former adventurer of the Wyvern Wings Adventuring Guild, with great ties to Tobias after their adventures together. Shout out to the Eyes of the Stars if you want to go see that prequel. Invited everyone...
My wife!
Thank you.
I have to. I'm obligatory at this point.
You are. But invited everyone to stay there. There, you met Thea, an archfey turned dragon and Nyx's long-lost aunt on her father's side. She greeted you with immense knowledge of both who you are or who you weren't. Zari was faced with the knowledge that she may or may not be human anymore and had a bit of a mental breakdown, revealing some of her backstory and her first identity to Ravasi, the daughter of the Hand of Simona. Inside, both Nyx and Komori made friends with the children and taught them some bad words. Very important point. 5-year-old now knows how to use bitchin' properly. Over dinner,
Hell yeah.
Much of the lore of the world was revealed. Kieran telling the group about his adventures in Deadstone Cleft, the home of the stone giants that you are traveling to. Thea also revealing how she became a dragon through Tobias and the use of essence pearls. Thea also gave some information to Zari about her theories on the planes of dreams and suggested that she reached out to the other planes, attempting to contact the being behind the constellation she keeps seeing, named, oh gosh, I did not write a little name, how do I pronounce this last time? So, but I'm just gonna go Visna. So, Veasna, Visna. Ravasi had a conversation with Kieran about warlock agreements, how patron interactions should go, and how one could break the vow. Finally, Nyx learned a little bit more about her father and the stakes that he faced in the Feywild. And with that, we jump in as you depart the next morning. You feel very well rested after an amazing night of sleep. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the father for those who can't spell. Thank you, Shorty. Thank you. But anyway, you are very well rested after an amazing night of sleep. Your bellies are full after an absolutely huge breakfast, and the birds are chirping in the mid-morning outside the lush glen. You all have 15 temp HP that will stay even after sleep until it is, like, used and gone.
Yippee! That's like a sixth of my health right there.
Yep.
15 temp HP. Thank you.
You are very
Thank you.
welcome. So, give me 1 second. So, with that, you are all kind of standing outside, greeting each other, and you are all staying outside, kind of like outside in the clearing. You're chatting with each other and saying goodbye as you are about to set off. And with that, Ravasi, Kieran comes
Yes.
forward and presses a small pipe into your hand.
Oh.
I don't know what you are going through, kid, nor do I think I want to know for my children's safety. However, what I said last night still stands. You are welcome to return here whenever you would like to recover, and if you have any questions, you can write. The Wyvern Wings knows how to get stuff to me. I wanted you to have this. It's a harmless magical instrument, but it often helped me remember throughout the years that even in dark moments, I have the ability to create light through my music.
It's very kind of you. He'll clutch it to his chest. Thank you. Thank you.
You are very welcome.
What is that, DM?
It is actually already in your inventory.
Ooh.
And if you look up Kieran, it should pop up. Do you want to read it to the other groups?
Kieran's Instrument of Illusions. While you are playing this musical instrument, you can create harmless illusory visual effects within a 5-foot radius sphere centered on the instrument. If you are a bard, the radius increases to 15 feet. Sample visual effects include luminous musical notes, a spectral dancer, butterfly, and gently fallen snow. The magical effects have neither substance nor sound, and they are obviously illusory. The effects end when you stop playing. This gift was this gift was itemed. Ah, yes. This item was gifted by Kieran and radiates a bit more power than you would expect. Is this a flute, DM?
It is like a little pan flute, or like a pipe flute.
Okay.
So a little bit, it's kind of like, it's like a fancy recorder.
Okay. Yeah, he immediately starts playing once we get on the road.
Aw.
Okay. Did I write this item was gifted, or did you, or this gift
Yes,
was
you-
item?
You did.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I thought it was just
you
you
did,
messing
you
it
did.
up, and then I was like, oh no, did I screw that up?
No, I did in fact fuck that up. That was on me. No. I thought you asked, like, was I just saying that?
No, I was like, did I write it wrong
guys.
in there?
Sly will often just reverse words.
Oh,
that is a
goodness.
common. There's a reason why my family says you meant what I knew.
Yeah.
I will never live it down.
Nope, you won't. Okay, Nyx, you are your aunt comes up to you, and as she's kind of saying goodbye, she will hand you a small pearl that contains swirling shadows. and says to you, if you ever need me very quickly in dire situations, smash this pearl and it will alert me that you need help. I'll only be able to immediately come assist an avatar of my dragon form, but I will be able to help until the avatar is destroyed or I can no longer hold the projection magic together, which is roughly a few hours. Unfortunately, I only had the means to make one at the moment, so use it sparingly.
Oh, sweet. Well, thank you. I will try my best not to ruin your retirement.
It is never a problem to assist, especially family. And sometimes you get the itch, you know?
No, but I will leave you to your weird fetishes.
That's not what I... Shorty, that is in your inventory, and it is, I think it's called, like, Fea's Pearl or something like that.
I do see it.
Okay, you can read the mechanics on there, but essentially it takes an action to smash, and then she is summoned on the beginning of your next turn, so it's like, it takes, like, one full round, and she acts on your turn.
Yes, it is.
And for those who didn't know, or didn't pick up on it, she is a shadow dragon. And as she kind of, like, leans in awkwardly and, is going in to give you a hug if you are accepting it, but is kind of giving you a chance to, like, not accept a hug.
No, I accept all hugs, but I do not hug back.
Okay. She, like, gives you a hug for a moment and just says, I know we've just met, but you are family. And she nods at you. And you look down and Ren is tugging on your clothes and looking up at you with her huge purple eyes under the wide brim of her little baby witch hat that matches yours. And she goes, I made you something too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I hope it's not icky.
And she hands it to you, and it's a small charm that is made of nails, purple ribbon, and a lock of pure white hair. And she just says, it'll keep you safe, with, like, very intense seriousness.
I will take it from her. Now this is bitchin', and I will dap.
She goes, bitchin'. And you see a small charm as described. To Zyra, if you're standing anywhere near, there's, like, you have an innate sense of just, like, that could be magical. That could be magical.
Yeah, I'll just kind of, like, side-eye it for a moment and pray that the child does not have access to Power Word Kill.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, with that being said, if there's any other conversations you would like to have with the family before we just fast track you back onto the airship. Oh, Fea will say, as you guys are leaving, and if you see Sigrid, we call her Siggy typically. I don't know if she goes by her nickname with her peers, you know. But if you see Sigrid on the road, or sometimes she's at the Adventuring Guild, do mention to her who you are, and she will definitely help you in any way possible. I will send her a message to look out for you, okay?
What was the name?
Sigrid?
Diggy.
Sigrid, gotcha.
She's kind of hard to miss, and she smiles, like, very fondly.
Gotcha.
But she's very tall.
Any particular features?
Oh, she's, and she leans in a little bit, she's a half giant.
Oh, that is so cool.
It's unfortunate, but yes, very cool. And she when she says unfortunate, her eyes glance over to Komori for a second. To Zyra, you pick up on that with your 20 bajillion passive insight.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll write that down.
Yeah.
What are you guys looking at?
Well, that being said, it was so lovely to have you. You are welcome back anytime. Do not hesitate to call me if you are in dire need, please. I would rather assist you than you die. And keep an eye out for Sigrid. And she pats your heads as she walks by. And then the whole family stands out and waves as you exit the clearing.
No.
And with that, we pick back up on the airship. You have roughly, oh, that is not the right, nope, that would have been really scary. I picked a song that would have been kind of terrifying. But you pick back up on the airship. You guys have about 2 weeks of travel before you head to Tobias's tower. Now, granted, it would have definitely taken you a month on foot, if not longer, depending on where you were going. So, very, very great. Not to mention crossing the mountains there that I'm forgetting. The Forge Peaks, there we go. I know my own lore. So, in that time, is there anything specific that you would like to do? Do you want to identify any items? Do you want to write to anybody? Do you want to collect more crows?
Oh boy! Do I want to collect more crows, identify more items, and shoot over some questions about dreams?
I had a feeling. Okay. Go ahead and roll me just, let's do another 3 animal handling checks. Let's handle that first. And
I will guidance all of the.
okay.
I'm gonna replace that 6 with an 8.
Okay.
1 with an 8, that is. And then let me do 3d4. So 15, 14, and 14.
Okay. So, with that, you definitely have a bit of a pack now. From your talk with animals, speak with animals, you get the sense that these ones, as you're kind of traveling west directly across the plains there, you get the sense that these are not the same crows that you kind of were directly flying south, but they have definitely heard of you. And so the word is spreading. And with that, I do think that you get your first piece of news. Could you do me a favor and roll me a D100?
85!
Okay, 85 is pretty lucky. So with that, you get the news that the farmers are looking a little bit better after the hill giants, that they're kind of picking things back up a little bit, and that Rosewick has been sending out a whole bunch of aid to the plains in the east. So it seems that you're helping the giants, or you're defeating the hill giants has definitely helped.
Beautiful. And I am actually going to I'm going to ask the crows if they are either... They're probably not crossing, I'm assuming, this big old continental rift. But I'll say, if you guys know anybody who's, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's been it's a really far away, but that one place that makes the really good grapes. If you guys hear anything about, that kind of
Bastard.
Hmm?
Bastard.
Okay. Roll me another luck check.
Beautiful.
Oh my god. One of them is like, I spent a couple summers down there in the grape land. It was really good. The grapes were delicious. And Sly, for the sake of things, will you roll me a d20 to see what this crow knows?
Oh, I really hope it's high. No, it's low. Hey, DM,
yes.
could I get inspiration and reroll?
You want to give to Zyra information?
Yes. I want the crow to. Sly wants it.
Okay. I mean,
I'll give you inspo to fight the dragon in our home game.
I hear your
Inspo for
bargain,
inspo?
and I accept this to stake. You can have DM inspiration for DM inspiration there. This is beautiful.
I didn't do shit.
It's fine.
Because this is what happens when you bargain with. This is what happens when you bargain with the dice. They say "fuck you."
Here's the deal.
Yeah,
You didn't bargain with the dice. You bargained with the DM. So, he'll kind of like lean in and say, so, the grapes were really, really good, but sometimes if we were really, really lucky, there was lots of bones and flesh.
Oh my gosh, you guys must have been really, really lucky as like Tazira is fighting down the look of concern on her face. Oh my lord, that does kind of plenty. Well, listen, obviously I know you're probably not going this winter, but if you know any crows who are going or any families or anything, I would love to be able to get me into touch with them. And you know, if any of them want a ride down there eventually, I'll let you guys know whenever we're going to the Grapeland, and you guys can catch a ride on the balloon. Save.
Okay, good to know. We're staying here this year, but I will keep that in mind.
Beautiful. I will give the crow some peanuts, and you know what? This has been a very useful crow. I'll take out some meat from my ration pack and hand it over.
Oh, he's so happy.
Beautiful.
Okay. Crow's accomplished. Anything else?
I can actually just write these over because Tazira is going to be having a lot of questions about the Plane of Dreams to her new pen pal there.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I also need to figure.
Would you rather do that off screen, or do you want me to answer some of these out loud?
I think rather off screen because I'm also figuring out the wording that I want to do with this.
Okay. Sounds good. We can handle that next time. Although I will say that some of the information that you might get might influence some of your interactions later in the session.
Ooh, okay. I'll shoot them over right now, and if any of the questions are ones that you think will immediately be like, oh, let me know.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody else want to do anything? Ravasi, you said you were checking out your new pipes.
Yes.
Yeah, as you play them, it's a little bit of a different instrument because I do believe that you've played a couple different versions of pipes as well as a traditional flute before. So it's a little bit more quote unquote rustic than what your classical training is used to. But there's a sense of joy that comes with it because it's not just creating music once you learn how to use it. It's you have the ability to paint pictures with your music.
Yeah, that's great.
Anything else specifically that you would like to do?
No, I think he is really trying to practice on this on these pipes and trying to really learn how to use them, and he's probably spending most of his time there.
Okay. Komori, is there anything specific that you would like to do?
Not particularly. I think she's just still trying to try the whole meditation thing because it's still kind of new to her, for sure.
Valid.
So still trying to bit of that out.
Okay. Nyx, is there anything specific that you would like to do?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I assume that Tazira would at some point. Was there something you wanted to identify, Tazira?
I'm going to identify that child bracelet at some point. That's on
I
Nyx's
shall
shoulder.
not let her.
Aw.
This is mine, Zara. You need to keep your greedy little fingers to yourself.
I'm not trying to take it from you. I just want to see what it does because that radiates
No,
magic.
you're trying
and
to
listen,
ruin
I saw
my
some.
future surprise.
You know what? Sure. If you end up with a localized fireball, then hey.
I hope you're there with me.
I hope I'm not. Please.
Be gone,
else
nerd,
I need-
and I will leave.
Yeah, nerd.
I will walk out of the room, my head hanging,
Aw.
as I am.
I'm gonna. Oh,
No, go ahead.
as you close the door, Ruvasi's just gonna play the wah 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 wah.
Mippet,
Mippet knows
If
what
you
to do.
If you have
Mippet-
him nut tap
Mippet
me,
flies up
I
and tries
will
to
eat
nut
him
tap
for breakfast.
her.
Try to hit, motherfucker.
Oh, go ahead and roll a hit for your cat, I guess.
okay, let me pull up the Tressum. It's so silly because, funnily enough, Tressums don't pop up on the D&D like extras.
I think
'Cause
it's so weird.
Sad.
It's because they're not a traditional familiar, and so some of their tags are kind of fucked up. Oh,
Well, even like you do a miscellaneous. Aw, she misses her nut tap.
sad.
You know what? I'm gonna replace that with a 19. Fuck it. We have gone until we get to Tobias's.
Yeah, you have multiple.
Silvery barbs, motherfucker.
Oh, gosh. There's just magicking back and forth, and it results in Mippet
very confused.
Yeah, it just results in a very confused Mippet who's struggling to understand magically what is happening, who then flies off, and eventually, Tazira, you find like a rat in your bed.
I'm gonna stick my tongue out at you, and then I am gonna go find Komori to bug.
Yes.
Okay, so for me, music is a great way for me to remember things. Is there a particular sense that you have that helps you kind of that has a strong memory connection? Like taste, or smell, or a particular sight, or sound like me, or like the touch of something?
I mean, honestly, not that I can really think of. Like, nothing's really brought me back to anything, if that makes sense.
Hmm. We'll have to
Does it
think
make
about
sense?
it. Yeah, no, it does. There are always triggers within our psyche and, like, magically, but also usually it takes several cracks before it breaks open, if that makes sense.
I mean, I suppose so, yeah. I guess the only thing is it's kind of hard to imagine trying to see what works in that regard, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Is this your way of pitching that we should try a bunch of different things until we see what happens?
yes and no. I think we should narrow it down a little bit, you know? I mean, you were very coastal, right? So maybe if we find anything... Ugh, it probably isn't gonna work. He's gonna dig through his bag of random shit, and he's gonna pull out a,
Ravasi, make a perception check.
Okay, 13.
Komori, where do you wear your bracelet that you've had with you?
I think she probably keeps it because I can't remember. It doesn't fit me, I don't think, with how my proportions are, right?
No,
I've just
I
kept
would say
it with me.
you could have gotten an extender, and I think we talked about you possibly wearing it as an anklet.
Oh yeah, I think we did actually. Yeah.
So if you want to do that and wear it as an anklet, you could have easily gotten an extender.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I would say, Ravasi, something kind of like triggers in your head, and you look down, and around Komori's ankle, you see the same bracelet that you saw her making with her friend of the... I think I said it was like a pearl or something.
Along those lines.
Okay. Well, what about that? And he's gonna point to it.
Huh. You know, I honestly didn't consider that. Huh. I mean, that's a possibility. Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have been, sorry, my husband's trying to ask me if I want chocolate. I would love some chocolate, thank you. Say everyone say hi to Sly's husband.
Hi, Sly's husband.
Hi, my husband.
Hello.
Anyway, he'll kind of like gesture to it and he'll go, well, you know how you've been trying to do the meditation, yada yada yada, right?
Right.
My mother went through her spiritual phase like 80 years ago, something like that. We still have a lot of the random bullshit. Anyway, I'm getting distracted.
Right.
Something that she would always say was she would sit down and do meditation, but if she wanted to like focus on something in particular, she would like place it in her hands and she would like roll it in her hands and like concentrate on it and see if anything special came from it. If anything did, I certainly wasn't there to witness it, but might be worth a shot.
Yeah, I suppose it would be. Ugh. What the hell? What do we have left to lose?
Honestly.
Okay. Are you doing so?
Well, that's my good deed for the day. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
Gives Komori an idea, promptly walks away to not see the repercussions for your actions.
No,
Who does that?
He doesn't want to be there if she gets disappointed.
Valid.
Wow.
Damn.
He doesn't know how to handle those emotions yet.
Okay. Valid.
Fair.
Thank you for laughing. Thank you for laughing.
Komori, is there anything along those lines that you would like to try, or is she waiting for a bit?
I was gonna say I think she would actually consider just sitting down and trying to meditate on it at that point and maybe see what she can get out of it.
Okay.
But we can also come back to that if need be.
No, we can do that first.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll me. Let's do a wisdom check. Just straight roll.
Good thing I roll these flat as is, baby. Ooh. Ooh, that's
So-
not bad.
With a 16, as you're sitting there meditating, you're working on clearing your mind, you're holding the bracelet and you keep... The only thing that comes to you is the flashback to the giant, where you received those little pearls. And just the flashes that you've already seen in your dreams. You don't get anything new, but it's a little bit more cemented in your brain that you think that if you continue to, you might be able to unlock more.
It's a start. All right. It's worth a shot. It's something.
Exactly. So in another couple of days with continued training, as you've been talking about, we can maybe revisit this and see what you roll. But you as a player get the sense that it's probably a pretty high DC.
Fair enough.
Okay. So, we flash to a scene where Tazira is in her shared cabin with Komori and is writing back and forth using her magic quill to her new friend who named herself as Vera. So, let's run down a couple of questions, but did you have a specific one that you wanted to start with? So we can say for the sake of things that let me know what Tazira has asked, and then after a couple of days I will give you what she has been able to dig up.
Absolutely. So I think the first one is she's pretty much formatting it as a hi there, Vera. Thank you so much for your time beforehand. And when you have the time, I would appreciate if you would look over this. We've had a situation where we have heard of something called quarry which have been called into question alongside the plane of dreams. Have you heard of this plane? And if so, what do we currently know about it? In addition, are quarry generally good spirits, bad, or is it something that's up to individual choice? I would also ask if she, pretty much everything that I've sent in the DM, so if she's heard about the constellation Vyesna, or if she hasn't, has anybody notable by that name ever been heard of? As well as what is a clash star and what do we know about that?
Okay, so I'm going to separate this as let's do 4 rolls. What's your history modifier?
My history modifier is a +9.
Okay, I'm gonna have you roll for her, and we're gonna add an additional 4 to that. So she has a +13.
Nerd.
Did you just say nerd?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have it be 4 rolls. 1 is Quarry Spirits, 1 is the Plane of Dreams, 1 is the Constellation Vyesna, and 1 is the Kalstar. Okay.
Damn.
They had some pretty high DCs, but let's see what we can find out. So, first, she manages to find a couple excerpts on Quarry Spirits and the Plane of Dreams. It's more about the Plane of Dreams. Because you got 18s on both of those, so I'm going to kind of lump them together a little bit. She gets the sense, and what she kind of tells you is that, kind of similar to what Faya had said, that the Plane of Dreams is a plane that is typically attached to a material plane. And that she talks a bit about how a lot of our planes are old, and the main thing that has happened is the world of Ilumelan, the planet of Ilumelan, is new, attached to all of these old planes. And that there is something called a plane of dreams, and that she finds some notes about some higher-ups in the church communicating with the plane of dreams for information. And that there's not as much mention of quarry spirits, but the couple of times that they are mentioned in conjunction with the plane of dreams. And then she supposes herself, based off of the information, that it is something up to individual choice. They're not good, they're not bad, but it is more up to individual choice. And she kind of phrases it like, I mean, dreams can be nightmares, right? But also at the same time, dreams can be really good. They can give you information, they can give you information that's bad, but like, it still is good. So I get the sense that they're neither good nor bad. And then she spends a couple of sentences waxing poetics on what is the definition of good and bad, and is something really good or is it really bad, and, you know, gets a little philosophical there for a minute.
I'm sure that I quit back at some point with some fascinating reading that I had in third year whenever we were talking about the philosophy of public policy in a international sphere class.
Oh, absolutely. As for the constellation, she says that she found the constellation in a book that was in a she actually like says that all of this information she's finding is in a library that only she has access to, is what she communicates with you. She's like, this is very secret knowledge, and the only reason I'm giving it to you and entrusting it with you is because of who you are and because of what you're doing and your communications with Villano. So she like swears you to secrecy, essentially.
Gotcha.
But she says that she finds the constellation in a map of constellations from the old world, and that she finds the name Viesna listed with a bunch of other beings on the Pantheon, the former Pantheon, and that her moniker is the goddess of fate and stories.
Oh lordy. Gotcha. Uh-huh.
Okay, and then with a 29 roll on the Kalstar, you get the sense she figures out, that's a really high roll, she figures out that Kalstar were a race. And here she actually goes, oh, this gives me so much more information. She talks about the fact that they were a race that were tied with quarry spirits, and that they were working to better something. And she says there's a lot of ties to things that are outside of our plane. And so I don't know that I have all of the information, and some of this is in a language I don't quite know how to decipher, but I see stuff about the Dreaming Dark, but I get the sense that they walked the world and they were like an elf or a human, but they were just a race. And she goes, do you think like a genasi mixed with a warlock? So a little like somewhat innate, but also somewhat pulling energy from a patron. But it seems that they were one and the same, and that all the Kalstar who were pulling energy from the quarry spirits were fully in control. They just had influence sometimes from the quarry spirit.
Gotcha. I guess I'll ask the follow-up question. Does it say anything about what happened to them?
She says that she's not sure what happened to them, but that it could just be that the ones that exist still from that realm are in Ilume or never came here. But there's no records of any of them being here.
Huh.
And then
I will
roll
Ooh,
me
okay.
a D100.
47.
With a 47, 3 days later, she comes back to you and says, I may have dug where I shouldn't have. I think that we have a couple of Kalishtar in Simona City.
Oh,
And then she says, they're very human passing.
oh. That's surprising. Should we be concerned?
She writes back, I don't think so. They're people of great rapport and just living out normal lives. One of them's a professor at the college. And there's a couple others. I'm not gonna tell you their names for obvious reasons, but they seem to be fine.
All right. Interesting. That's good to know. I know you can't tell me their names, but did I ever, from what you can guess of my past scholarly, did I ever take a class from that professor?
Hold on, she says. And it's like 2-3
doing
hours. She legit went and looks up your
On my
transcripts. Absolutely. She goes and pulls all your transcripts. Which, like, I'm just gonna say, from all of this information, she's a person who has access to information that even you did not have access to. Your transcripts aren't necessarily public knowledge. And then she just goes, yes. Yes, you have.
Thank you so much for all of the information, Vera. I appreciate your faith in me, and I will do my best to make that faith proud.
She doodles back what looks like a cute little puppy face, and then just says, I believe in you.
Oh! Oh, Desira's gonna go to bed with the warm and fuzzies tonight.
Okay. With that, is there anything else that you would like to know or do in these next couple of days? As I said, it's like a 2-week travel.
Not that I can think of.
Anybody else?
Nope, it's just gonna be me meditating on the whole memory thing, seeing how well I can get that to work.
Okay.
What's that one fucking meme of the kid going, dude?
The kid going, what? You cut out.
Do you know what they're talking? Do you know what I'm talking?
No.
No.
Sorry, I'm giggling. What is the one vine of that kid going doo 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 doo?
Oh, with his nose.
Oh my god, I know it.
Yes!
Yeah, I found it.
John Cena.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That is what Ravasi is doing. Not actually, but that's the vibe you guys are getting.
Ravasi's
With
having
his
so
nose?
much fun.
He's not playing with his nose, but that is the vibe you get.
Love it.
Like,
Okay.
10 out of
that
10.
level of enthusiasm.
Oh dear lord.
Would you say it's overall enthusiasm with overalls?
I hate it here.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks.
So as you go for the next couple of days, on the border of Etherfold, the airship follows the wind into a very small valley that is cradled by mountains around it. You see a waterfall crashing into a lush lake with full force, a grove of evergreens that lead up to a rising gray-stoned tower, nestled very comfortably between the peaks. And we're flying in at dark morning light, and as the sun begins to peek over the mountain, you see the valley in lazy pinks and oranges, the tower lighting up. It rises in a circular shape, several full balconies encircling a couple middle floors. There's large windows that decorate it higher up, and the roof seems to be made of a gleaming white metal, arcs of it sticking out in the reflecting dome, nestling in what could only be a very large telescope. For some of you, you didn't quite see the outside until you were leaving, but for Tazira, this is your home for the last couple of years. The airship settles down very nicely into the valley next to the small lake, and lets you down, and you are back at Tobias's tower. And I think with that, I told myself we were actually taking a break tonight. And I think with that, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few short minutes and diving into what conspires at Tobias's tower. See you all shortly. And we are back. So, as the group is landing on in the valley that Tobias's tower is living in, the very white gold greystone tower rising up with the massive top of what looks to be a huge telescope. You do see the large double doors at the base of the tower, decorated in the kind of same white gold metal. And as you approach the constellation carvings that decorate it, as well as the elaborate dragon-headed knocker that is nestled in the lower center. And Yanwa opens her mouth and goes, "Oh, you're back! What'd you see? Did you bring me anything back? How's it going? Tell me all the stories. I missed you all."
Hey.
I forgot that she sang half the time.
Honestly, I forgot about a lot of things.
Oh, I don't sing half the time.
To be fair,
just some of the time.
well, it's a lovely sing.
Thank you. But did you find anything fun? How's it going?
It's going interesting. We saw the Oracle. We got another quest. We're killing some giant lords. Ravasi, do you want to show her the cone that we used to liposuction, Gug? Arga?
Yes, he will very proudly.
You're also
show
forgetting
off.
about, yeah. Oh, sorry, go.
Yeah, so,
I will
we killed
show the slimming cone.
She goes, "Oh, that's amazing. I don't get it, but that's okay."
I will. Let me double check that I can do this. I can't minor illusion it for you. I'm sorry. If I could, I would.
So this. Do you know what fat is? You know, like when people have, like, humans or creatures have, like, fat on them?
Yes, I'm not stupid.
Okay, cool. How would I supposed to know? I don't know what you've seen in your life.
No, it's okay. It
this
just means that
removes all
you're
of it.
stupid. Okay, interesting.
Put off your bingo card.
Wow. Okay, well, in that case, that sounds super fun. Especially because Chief Guz the, like, hill giants, right?
Yeah, she was
Yep.
really big and really stinky.
Ooh.
Very stinky.
That's Amazing. I'm glad that I don't have a nose and that I wasn't there.
Oh, you should be. Well, how has it been here, Yanwa? What interesting sights have you seen in the valley, my dear?
Well, the usual. So much has definitely happened since you've left. Oh, Silixa is back.
Oh, good to hear.
Otherwise, it's just kind of been Lucy coming and going. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Tobias has left since you've gone, unless he's teleported out once, but it was only for like a day.
I will kind of do like a. Okay. Everybody, brace yourselves because he may not be dressed when we walk in.
I'm sorry, what?
It's not the first time
Maybe we
I've
should
walked
knock.
in on a naked man.
Let's revisit this knock idea.
Oh, I've already alerted
can
him.
knock.
I am literally the knock. I am the knocker. Like, that is my job. So he already knows that you're here. So I promise that he is putting on clothes. Or at least, actually, no,
Okay.
I can't promise that. I can't sense if he's putting on clothes, but he definitely is wrapping up something upstairs and coming down.
Thank you so much,
As long as it's
Yanwa.
wrapped.
Okay, well, Tazira, before you run off, you have to come back out and tell me all the stories. Otherwise, I'm going to be very cross with you, and then I might make you answer riddles before you come in the door next time.
Oh no, answering riddles. What a shame. I'll be sure to tell you everything.
Thank you.
We also got to meet some old friends, acquaintances of Tobias.
Oh. Who?
I was wondering if you ever met them. I don't remember what their squad name was, but there was a gentleman, his name was Kieran? Human looking?
See, Tobias doesn't get many visitors. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am the door knocker to absolutely a very boring life. He and I have had that beef multiple times. Don't worry about it. But I very specifically remember them. It was the man, a tiny lady, a really, really big orc lady who answered one of my riddles in a way that I wasn't expecting. I was really impressed with her. And then there was a grandma elf that was definitely older than Tobias. So
Yes. Yeah,
I remember them.
we got to meet the man. He
Interesting.
wasn't sure how the rest of them were doing.
Isn't it been like 80 years? How is he still alive? He was like old.
Damn, okay. I don't know, he looked like he was in maybe his 50s?
Yeah, so like 10 years have passed and 80. Well, okay. Weird. Wonder what freaky magic he got into.
Ravasi kind of sits there for a second and is like, right. Humans, short lifespan. Yep. That's that. Yep.
Ravasi did not put that together.
I forget that sometimes. No, absolutely not.
Okay, well,
Looks at Tazira suddenly with sad face. Oh wait, do Kalistar live longer?
I don't know.
You didn't look that up?
Oh, sorry. Secret. I didn't look up the compendium of secret races that nobody knows about.
Anyway, this is incredibly rude. We're whispering. If you'd let us in, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
okay. Well, only because Tazira said that she would come back out and tell me stories, so I will let you in, I guess. And the door swings open.
Thank you.
and You're welcome. But You see once again the huge grand entryway. There's a vastness and a brightness of the room. Light pours in from huge floor-to-ceiling windows that were not evident on the outside that reflect off a marble tile. There's a pool that sits in the center of the room with water pouring from 3 stories above to a balcony that lines the entire edge of the room on the 3rd story. The water pours from the large dragon head leaning down over the balcony, very elaborately carved. And you see the same bar, the same kind of sitting area over to the side, as well as it looks like there's a couple of the doorways.
I will sit down at the bar and make myself a very wonderful elderberry mocktail.
Yeah, there's absolutely the stuff for you.
No point in
drinks? Kamori, you want to try a new drink?
Well, what the hell? We're in a place where we're safe, relatively, so why not? What do you got?
Do you want something? I don't know. I was just kind of vibing.
No thanks.
You don't water, flavorless juice? If it's the personality.
Flavorless juice, you say?
Yes.
Ice juice, you could call it.
I could even... I could do an iced flavorless juice for you. I could even squirt a lime nearby it.
I don't want you squirting anything near me, but why don't you get me some water?
She doesn't. Sometimes I forget that she doesn't understand the humor. Yeah, no, he'll get you. He'll get you an iced water. And for Kamori, DM, I'm just gonna DM because it's funny. I have a random table that has different drinks. Can I just roll off of that?
Absolutely.
I gotta find it. Hold on, real quick. It's next to the It's next to the wares that may not be strictly legal.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Don't
That's
worry
good,
about it. Don't worry about it. Here are the drinks. I should know. Please continue without me as I try to find this table. I just had it, and now it's gone.
It's okay. So Ravasi starts kicking up some drinks in this very chill area, and you are able to relax and spend a couple of minutes. To Zyra, you know how this area works, and like you look away from the table for a second and you look back and there's a charcuterie board like ready. It seems that and you know for a fact that Tobias, well, he did program a whole bunch of stuff, magically programming, I don't know. He did magically enchant a whole bunch of stuff that typically it's Yanwa who makes sure that everything's prepared. She's kind of like the magical butler who can't move. And so stuff like that is absolutely her doing, not his.
Beautiful. I will just kind of like lean near the door. Thank you, Yanwa.
You hear her chattering away. It seems that she has drawn the attention of one of the people on the airship and they're chit-chatting.
Beautiful. Good for her. Good for her.
After a couple of minutes, when Ravasi is in the middle of making a couple of cocktails, what'd you get?
So the random name I got, because it's a random names, but I got ghoulish toxic tea.
Okay, that
And
sounds...
I imagine that this is horrifying. Yes. I think that this is a incredibly darkly brewed dark black tea mixed with simple syrup and rum.
Okay.
But it's got like a bit of like a weird glowing ooze to it.
I think that it has like fantasy Midori in it. So it like glows
Yes.
a little bit green.
Yes.
Ooh.
Now, if you drink it too fast, it does turn your teeth glowing green for a bit.
Wait, seriously?
It is harmless, though. Yes.
Hold on.
Komori,
We need to get
Don't
a
drink it too
together.
fast.
Komori
It's
slams it.
Chuck.
Yep. Because sharp pointy teeth with glow in the dark, totally baller.
It's kind of cool, actually.
Just goes dark, and then it just all you see is Komori's dark like grin just shine in the night.
I still do have my flair. How's the ice water over there, Nyx?
Hydrating.
Good. Zari, you want anything else?
Yeah, sure. Hit me with whatever you got.
He'll make you a mocktail. I just like rolling off of this because it has silly names. Tingly horror.
The tingly what?
I am at horror, HORROR, tingling horror. I think this is like a super acidic, like super citrusy drink.
I think it's like
and especially with no
Sly, think like a
you know liquor more than I do.
think like a grapefruit spicy margarita energy. So like really, really tart grapefruit with some jalapenos in there.
Yes, but then there's no liquor to cut through that at all.
No.
And so I think he and he goes, we'll see how it tastes without the liquor.
It sure makes your mouth tingle.
Yep. I think it's even funnier because the only thing that you really see, because Desira's mask does block a lot of the expressions, is just the mouth purse up. Yeah, it's so good.
You don't have to drink it. Like I said, I just kind of make stuff and see what happens.
Desira is very purposefully and doggedly making sure that she finishes the drink that Ravasi made for her.
Would you if I put a little bit of liquor in there, he'll pour like a tiny shot of liquor to put onto the side. It might cut it a little bit and help, actually.
Thank you.
I don't know if you were like, okay. I wasn't sure if you were just like not usually, I just don't prefer it, or if it was like a religious reason, so.
Oh no, it's not religious. It's just anything that's gonna alter your mind when you're already altering your mind regularly. Yeah.
That is true. And he'll make something for himself, and then he'll offer again to Nyx. Are you sure you don't want one?
Yep, thanks, big dog.
Please never call me that again. That's a bad nickname out of the ones you've given me.
My bad, little bro.
That both hurts and feels better.
But I'm sorry, but that just proves that you no longer have a chance with her.
Yeah.
He is going to kick you underneath the table.
Myth it.
Just Kamari. Instant feeble-minder is what he makes for himself.
Oh god. That sounds like a green AMF.
I was gonna say it's like a Four Loko.
Oh. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, he makes himself a Four Loko. He does not let Desire try this one.
After like, well, Ravasi's in the middle of making his drink, so it's been maybe like 10 minutes. The same kind of not orange, but not like white, kind of like a golden furred tressum with dark paws, flies down and winds her way around the table and sits down right in front of Tazira, and then turns and looks at all of you and just, you hear a chirping little voice. Hello, little ones. I hope your travels have been noble.
Hi there, Astra. How's it been going?
Wrong one, Lucy.
Oh, sorry, Lucy.
It's okay.
My apologies.
You literally have, I'm not exaggerating, guys. I gave her 8 dragon names. So, do not sweat it.
Been doing our best, Lucy. How's it been going?
She cocks her head at you. Doing your best. Good. And she turns and looks at the rest of you, and you, like, cats judge, but this cat judges. Wouldn't say the same for the rest of your companions. And she looks very specifically at you, Ravasi, and then moves on and puts her nose in the air a little bit.
He's just going to slowly slurp his Four Loko and just stare back.
Well, things have been good, I would say. Quiet. Tobias will be down soon. How long are you staying with us?
Not for too terribly long. We're planning to go to the Stone Giant stronghold west of here shortly.
Oh yes, I heard that was close. You should talk to Silixa. She's been flying around that area recently.
Oh, fantastic.
She actually, between you and me, came back because she looked like she got beat up a little bit and hit by a rock.
Not so fantastic.
Yeah, it was bad. But she said that she was very good still and did not kill all of them in rage. So I'm proud of her.
Very noble of her.
Yes, indeed. But she is likely napping, as she does in the kind of heat of the morning. But Tobias will be down soon.
Oh, thank you so much, Lucy, and it's fantastic to see you.
Did you bring me a present?
I will pull out one of the gems worth 100 gold pieces and hand it over to her.
This cat takes it in her mouth and goes, "Good. Thank you." And flies off.
Of course. Well, that's Lucy, everybody. You have now met another dragon.
And that's why I got the feeling that I shouldn't insult her back. And they all said I couldn't learn.
You're doing a good job of it, Ravasi. Well, is there anything... I know that we could ask probably Silixa to go and shop. She does love to do so. I mean, once she's back on the mend, of course. Is there anything that we want or want her to sell?
I mean, he's kind of like looking, thinking about all the random bullshit we kind of have. We have a lot of just stuff.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love stuff, but like that puppet theater with the puppets, a little creepy. That's coming from me. A little creepy.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I guess we have 2 sets of armors that I don't think anybody's claimed. We have the adamantine scale mail, and we also have the +2 half plate. Do either of you two want that?
I'll take it if no one's gonna use it. I don't know why I was being so polite to you guys.
Yeah, I don't know either.
None of us. I'm gonna look.
Honestly,
look
I
at the rest of us.
I don't use armor.
Yeah, I was like, none of us use armor.
Yeah, I'm not too good on the wearing heavy armor.
Mm-mm.
Well, give me that shit. I'll take that.
All right. Gorgeous. So we're gonna sell, I guess, then adamantine scale mail unless anybody wants it.
Mm-mm. Hey, Komori, you want this ring of water walking?
You know I can swim, right?
Yes, which is why being able to walk on the water would be all the more impressive.
Are you saying it'd be impressive, funny, or menacing?
Depending on the context, potentially all three. You can't see me. He
You
does
know
like the
what?
eyebrow raise of like,
Okay, what's really
You just
funny
really
is
want to
when
see
you
it happen, don't you?
when your voice activates, your second picture has an eyebrow raise. And so when you did that, I did the sound effects and did the eyebrow raise. That was amazing.
Perfect.
You know what? Because I know you'd probably have fun watching that happen. Sure, I'll take it. Why not?
Yes.
I mean, I'm the one who took the wind fans, so I guess that means that that potion of fire breath, he's gonna lean over and give it to Nyx.
Okay, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. As for a lot of the other miscellaneous bits we got, we could just see if we could sell those off. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think any of us are gonna fit that rocking horse. Do we really need holy water?
I think it might be useful to have just in case.
Yes. All of the, fiends that you fight while dealing with giants. Very common.
Okay. To be fair, I don't know. They might. We might get to some that are smart enough to summon something. Or,
Also, what, you're gonna
if
sell
all
this holy
fails,
water?
If all fails, I will drink the holy water like a shot. I've done it before. It only burns a little
Oh.
bit.
Of course it burns.
why does it burn it?
Just a little bit. It's holy water. I'm not.
Ravasti, are you being for real with me?
He just smiles at you.
I will write that down with a big question mark next to it on his page.
Nyx, did you say something else? I missed it.
Nothing of import.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Everything you say is important, Shorty.
That's true, but not everything Nick says is important.
Fair enough. I concede.
Okay, well, with that,
I was gonna say if you're trying to. I was just gonna say if you're trying to incite him, you can incite him.
No, Nick fully believes you're part demon.
honestly valid, Nyx. That's funny.
Yeah, that's fair.
That checks out. So with that, you guys can assemble a list, and while you're gone on your journey, so we can take time out of session to do that, but while you are gone on your journey, as said, someone will do some shopping for you.
Yippee!
Okay. And so, after a couple more minutes, you guys joke around, kind of pull together a list of things that you want sold, destroy a charcuterie board and some drinks, and Tobias does kind of float down once again in the water, fall, and kind of lands on the ground and says, hello to my lovely mentee and her companions.
Yep.
I see you are back for a bit of a break, or did you need something?
We're on our way to go and fight the stone giants, but we wanted to stop in beforehand. There's been some occurrences. We found an ancient blue dragon, which chased us. And also a white wormling, which, I'm not gonna lie to you, Tobias, I left out in the snow. I hope it's alive. I asked them not to kill it, but...
Well, wormlings are pretty typical. There was a whole trade of a bunch of dragon eggs back in the day, so I'm not surprised that there's wormlings spread around Ilumelan, especially in the north. Oh my goodness. But
more importantly, ancient blue dragon.
Yes,
Called herself the I don't remember what she called herself, but the fancy oracle called her the one who betrays.
Yeah, and one that can turn into a storm giant.
Interesting. A storm giant?
Uh-huh.
Typically when dragons shift, only chromatic dragons can, wait, hold on. Did I do that wrong? I think I did that wrong. Only metallic dragons can shift. That's odd that a chromatic dragon can. I wonder if that's a spell and not a shift. Or that's a dragon from a completely different land.
Also threatened us.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
an ancient blue
On track.
dragon. She's going to threaten you. She views you as ants.
Yes.
I don't threaten the
he's
ants
gonna-
I see.
This is true. I also do not threaten ants. But he is going to pull out the flask. Desire should be very proud. He did not chuck it. He did think about it though. This has a ice primordial that she has demanded we throw into the fire giant's hearth something. I forgot, honestly. Trauma, I usually tend to just block out trauma like that. Within a year or will have serious consequences, yada yada yada.
Interesting. So she threatened you, then gave you something to assist in your mission. But I mean, it makes sense because dragons and giants are the natural enemies. So it's odd that she is a...
Turns into one?
Yes. It makes me wonder if the one who betrays has something to do with betraying the giants, not betraying you.
Well, maybe she's not even a dragon at all. Maybe she's just a giant who can turn into a dragon.
That...
Maybe a true poly spell.
That... I don't know any giants who can cast that level of spell, but... Interesting. I'm gonna be honest with you, an ancient dragon is a lot of magical energy. But... there are different things that have happened. Let me pull some resources. Let me see if I can find any rumors of an ancient blue dragon. They typically like to be around sandy areas, so I will start with Iga.
Yeah, the snow was a little bit of a confusing moment.
Well, a giant on a mission, or a dragon on a mission will do anything they have to.
And
folks ants to do their dirty work.
apparently.
Maybe a bit more than ants. But it
Ants
is
who could get a miracle.
But it is concerning, considering the fact that we don't have any other ancient dragons here, supposedly.
Right!
That's yeah.
Because the other higher dragons that I brought here are all adult currently. They're not quite old enough.
Well, we talked with Feya, and as well as I was talking with a contact, there might have been a few who snuck in with the merging of planes, and this might have been one of them.
Yes, that was actually a theory of mine. I believe that there's a few. I think there's also one kind of out in the very southwest. I have a feeling. I have a suspicion. I've felt some activity and heard some rumors down there, but not blue.
An ancient dragon or just a dragon?
Oh, an ancient dragon.
Great. And get threatened by another one.
Well, if I have to assume, I think that one's some sort of metallic, so likely they might not threaten you.
I will be honest with you, I do not know the difference.
Oh, so typically back in Old World, the chromatic dragons run along the evil, very selfish pursuits persuasion, and the metallic dragons are a little bit more willing to work with the other denizens of the plane rather than seeing them as servants to us around. And that just has something to do with temperament. I actually did a little bit of a paper on that back in the Old World when I was in college, way back in the day. That's like thousands of years ago. But
Yeah, it certainly sounds like I opened a can of worms that I should not have asked about.
Desire, meanwhile, is having a beautiful time. She's nodding along rapidly.
But now that's to say, I personally do believe that if you raise a chromatic dragon correctly, that they can... I believe in a little bit of essence of nurture over nature, if you get what I'm saying. Now, granted, they do still have some of their nature elements, which I have proved in my studies and the several dragons that I have raised. However, I have also proved that nurture can overcome it. And he looks very proud of himself. Now, granted, I do believe that my created dragons are a little bit of a different story, considering that they were... and he looks at Tazira. You spoke to Feya? Ah, whatever, they're your friends. Entities that existed before. So whatever persuasions they had kind of just became a little bit more animalistic when they're dragon forms. Now, granted, I only picked ones that were willing to work with me.
Indeed. Well, it's good to know that we might at least have a couple of leads and that you might have some places that you can look. I might have some questions for you later on, Tobias.
All right. Well, you can stay here as long as you need. You're heading to the Stone Giants. Silixa was just there, actually, so maybe talk with her and see if she has any information. And interestingly enough, that area was where, back in the day when I was doing a bit of the studies on the created dragons, that is where Felgolis was camped for a bit.
Smart choice of words.
But if you spoke with Feya, I assume that you got some of that information already.
Indeed.
I wasn't there personally. Well, I was, but then I wasn't when they retrieved Felgolis, so.
Yeah, you were in a block of ice from what you told me, right?
Yes, unfortunately. I was a little Tobiasicle.
I'm grateful that I can learn from your lessons and be fucking terrified of Remoras.
Yes. And frost giants. Those guys are rough.
Dicks.
But honestly, most giants I've talked to are kind of dicks. With the exception of some storm giants, they're not dicks. And some cloud giants, I mean, you've met one already, that's not a dick. But, it's the same thing as chromatic dragons, where if they are raised in that situation and their nature is one way, they just go down what I would refer to from my perspective as dicks. But what for them is their culture.
That's very fair, very true.
As I said, when it's like they look at us and see little minions who can do their biddings, like dragons do, or I look at you, child, and see someone who will only be alive for a very, very small portion of my life. And yet I'm curious. You have so much emotion in such a little time. Anyway, that is a whole different story. We've had that conversation many times. But that being said, you are welcome to stay as long as you need. Your rooms have been put up, and he kind of like looks at the door for a second. I'm assuming to your what you need. I don't quite know what everybody. That's Yawa's job. And I believe she did populate what looks like the room with all of the baths, so feel free to use that. If you would like to peruse the library, you are more than welcome to. Simply step into the water here, and it won't get you wet, but it will raise you up. And then, Silixa, you probably shouldn't bug her. She's resting in the nest right now, and if a new smell comes to her while she is sleeping, she might jump you. But she should be better later this evening.
Got it. And quick question before you get back into your books. Would you happen to have a contact other planes spell scroll lying around, or have the ability to perhaps procure one or create one?
I don't, but I do have essence pearls lying around.
Beautiful. Secondary half.
But you know that you don't have the ability to use them yet. I could probably try to channel one through you. We haven't experimented with that, but you look like you're a bit stronger.
Yeah, I'd say so. As she claps her shoulder, it's just like the weakest little nerd wobble.
Contact other planes.
Yeah.
Are you trying to just reach out to other planes in general, or is there a specific entity you're attempting to reach out to?
I'm trying to... I'll explain the full thing to you in just a moment. But surprise, turns out I'm not human, Tobias. Weird, I know. Anyways, there's apparently a being called Visna. That Thea was sensing on me, and I'm trying to contact her, and it sounds like she might be in the plane of dreams. Or connected in some way, or maybe she is the plane, I don't know.
Oh. You didn't know you weren't human?
You knew?!
I mean...
Well, that feels anticlimactic.
I'm so sorry. That is the direct vibe of your professor being like, wait, you didn't realize you have ADHD?
Yeah!
Why do you think we got along together so well? That is what that is.
Here right now, Corey spirits are ADHD. No. I mean, it took me a little bit to figure it out, but I assumed you were a Kalishtar. There's a couple that are in the city of Simona City, but I haven't seen many others around in this plane.
Tazira, like, takes a seat and fully rests her head in her hands for a moment, just, like, muttering to herself. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm chill. Yeah, no, it was a very shocking realization. I understand you don't read people well, but no, I did not know.
Oh, I am so sorry. Okay,
Hey, it's...
Well, whatever you need, my dear, and he, like, awkwardly pats your head, like, feels a little guilty, like, very blatant guilty look on his face. I am willing to assist. I think that we could definitely set up a lovely little ritual up. Maybe we should do it in the observatory, especially considering Plane of Dreams, stars, all of that energy, and we could try to do whatever you need. I think I have a couple high-level essence pearls upstairs still, so we can go check that out.
Beautiful. And it's all right, Tobias.
Okay. Well, with that, you guys can take a little bit of time. You can definitely go check out the bathing chambers. They're absolutely lovely. Very nice baths. You have access to food. It's kind of like mid-morning. And so you are essentially planning on resting for at least a day here. At some point, Tazira, would you hang out with the group downstairs, or would you go up and work with Tobias to kind of set up a ritual right away?
First things first, I'm spending 30 minutes regaling Yawa, because I do not want her to get my ass later on.
Okay.
And then I'll go up with Tobias and help to prepare it, because does he have the spell?
So, what you would know of essence pearls is that essence pearls are essentially raw weave, and you can cast any spell from them. However, there's repercussions. So, even non-spellcasters can use them to cast spells. And so he's like, we don't need a spell scroll. You don't need to have that ability. We can just make it happen because we're expending this very high level magic item to do so. However, you would know that it takes a very, in terms of mechanics, you need to be level 10 to use them. However, Tobias was saying that he could attempt to expend some extra energy. He is like the lead studying person in terms of essence pearls and uses them for weird shit all the time. So I was like, he could 110% channel, contact other planes and just like extreme upcast it and channel it through you so that you are in control of the spell.
Gotcha. Okie dokie.
So he definitely has a high enough tier of spell. We just will have to see if it malfunctions.
Beautiful. I'm gonna roll my I think that's a D100, but just in case, I'm gonna roll my portents in case I need to roll any saving throws. Okay, cool.
Okay. So when you go up, you can tell him as much or as little information as you need to. If you... Oh, go ahead.
I'll give him the full rundown, and then I guess I'll also have the secondary question of, by the way, I ran into some folks. Do you know anything about a group of people with like a coatl pendant kind of symbol? Who are, if you know, you know, if you don't, you don't?
Oh. Yes. I'm gonna be honest with you, my guild kind of directly works against them. But sometimes I have worked with them to get some things that I need that the typical people don't have.
So, like, who are they? Because we ran into them up north when we were just getting started.
Oh, okay. So they're called the Arane. So Araneae.
Gotcha.
They are called the Arane, and they kind of are half black market energy, but I'm gonna be honest with you, they don't give a shit about whether or not they should trade in things. They just trade in things. So
Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, good to know. I was just curious.
yeah, I don't really like working with them. But I have occasionally, but just don't tell the rest of the guild.
I won't. You're all good. I get it.
Oh, I didn't mean the Wyvern Wings Guild, but it's okay.
Oh, the eclipsed moon?
Yes.
What do you guys even do anyways? If you don't mind me prying.
It's an exchange of information, per se. Have you read those stories about the thieves' guilds that work underground but aren't, super black market traders but are kind of more on the good side? That sometimes kill really evil people, but most of the times just handle imbalances in the world?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Kind of like that.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It's a very secret guild.
My lips are sealed.
But I will also say, I don't know where your travels are taking you, but I have several contact points around the world that we can maybe get you in touch with. Especially if you ever need to use my teleportation circles.
Fantastic, because we may need to at some point, and I will kind of point out the fire and cloud giants, which are a hella long distance away.
Oh, yes, indeed. I have a teleportation circle that is directly to the capital of Southstone. So it would be a little bit of a walk from there, but not too bad. And that's in Bixton. I have a couple contacts there. And then I also have a teleportation circle that will take you directly to... Hold on, did I name the city yet? Where is it? The Glistening Tempest, which is essentially one of the capital cities of oh my gosh.
I think that's where we are.
Maria. Sorry, my brain just short-circuited.
Gorgeous. Alrighty.
So, yes, indeed. If you need to get there, I can get you there.
Thank you so much, Tobias.
You are very welcome. Now, do you want to get set up for a bit of a fun ritual?
Absolutely. No time like the present, eh?
So with that, you guys take some time and you set up a ritual in the observation tower, in the observatory, and he actually guides you to kind of set up some sort of magical conduits at each point of, and kind of create the constellation you're talking about along the ground. and could do some connections with chalk and runes and the like. And so you guys take a bit of time to do so. But before we jump to that, we are going to cut back to the rest of the group. If you guys had anything specific you were doing besides bathing in the chambers, eating, resting, etc.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything else.
I will only do something if someone else wants to do something.
Komori will just be trying any of the drinks Ravasi just makes for her, just to be like, give her thoughts on every little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She may or may not be trying to like be more, I guess, detailed in things, because it's like she's like, well, if I'm gonna be the first person to try and eat a dragon, I have to give extra proper notes, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Does Komori say that out loud?
I don't know.
Not even a bit.
Okay, just making sure.
I mean, she says aloud a lot that she doesn't know what she's doing, but still.
Okay. Nix, you said you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go for it.
Nix, you said you wanted to do something?
No, I said I will only do something if someone else wants to do something.
Well, Komori was doing something. She's drinking with Ravasi.
No, I meant something not alcoholic related.
Oh, you can go enjoy the baths. They're very lovely.
No, thanks. I'm not that kind of girl.
Valid.
A girl who takes baths?
Yeah,
Girl,
it's like bathing in your own
girly?
meat soup. Baths are not hygienic, and you know it.
You
Mercy, girly.
You typically shower before you get in the bath.
It's still a stew of your flaking off skin cells. Baths are disgusting.
Okay.
Okay. Ravasi would definitely make some drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, for Komori to try. And then at some point, I do think he's gonna go hunt down Nyx, and ask a question. I think I asked this before, but I can't remember. A lot of things have happened. What is your pact like? Has any of it changed since the first time you made it?
What? No, your pack changes?
No, I was wondering if it could.
I suppose that's up to the
Kieran
person who runs the pack.
That's true, but Kieran mentioned that he was able to kind of change his pact, and he was part of that change, not just his patron. Though, it's kind of.
Hold on.
They were all...
I was half paying attention during that interaction. Wasn't his patron his wife?
Yes. So I feel like that's a bit more of an odd. That
yeah,
might be a bit
there's
more
a
of
little
a
more cooperation
situation.
between the parties. To answer your question, no, my pact has not changed as far as I'm aware.
And what was the name of your patron again?
It's Morgana.
Do I know her, Morgana?
Roll a history
DM?
check.
24. I always roll spicy on these.
So, I think that you have read one book that has mentioned a Morgana as kind of like a demigod. And that's kind of the information you got. It was a whole theoretical book on the existence of demigods.
That's it.
Yep, that's all the information you get.
Damn. Okay. What does Morgana want? I mean, obviously, it's something to do with scything and reapering and this yada yada yada, but like, what does she get out of being in a pact with you?
I do a little bit of her bidding here and there. Sometimes she needs someone dealt with, and I deal with them.
So you're her. You
Executioner.
just occasion. Yeah.
That's a cool way to say it, right? I've been working on it.
Yeah, it's a very good way to say it. I was gonna say you're her assassin, but I think executioner fits a bit more.
Yeah, assassin's not really my style. They usually see me coming.
Mm-hmm.
I almost spat soda water out of my nose. Oh dear lord. Okay, sorry.
How does she contact you?
What do you mean? In my mind, how
Like-
did yours contact you?
In my dreams.
It's kind of like the same thing, right? You know, she might be in my dreams, or maybe the occasional other thing.
Well, she's the only reason I do dream.
Morgana?
No, my patron.
Oh, who's your patron?
Ravasi has now realized the conversation he accidentally put himself into. Would you believe me if I said I don't know her name?
If you want me to believe that, I will pretend to believe that.
It's more of a it is the truth, but I feel like people would not believe me if I said, like, Tazira wouldn't believe me if I said that, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
It is the truth, though, I promise. Yeah, I'm not even, DM, I feel like I don't need a roll for it. He's telling the truth.
He's absolutely telling the truth. He's not even trying to lie.
Alright, well, you're not doing that thing you do when you lie, so I guess it just is the truth.
Wait, what do I do when I lie?
I'm not gonna tell you that. How else am I gonna know when you're lying, silly guy?
What do I do when I lie? Do I do the weird chin thing? I thought I got rid of that habit.
No, it's not the chin thing. Whatever that is.
Never mind. I don't know. Is there anything else special or weird about your pact?
I don't know, I've only been in one. What's to say? It's all kind of
That's
weird.
fair. That's fair. That is true. That is true.
No, she helped me, and now I help her. Fair trade.
Fair trade. Oh. Well, thank you. Very enlightening.
You are
And
welcome.
I am still working on your gift. I just haven't found the right thing yet. You get me?
Yeah, but you better hurry before I give you yours.
You have a gift for me.
Well, I'm working on one now that I know you got me one.
Oh. Well, that's really nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I figured the
And
usual gift I give people of my friendship wasn't good enough.
Oh. I mean, your company is plenty good.
That is very sweet of you to say. You should hang out with me more and see if you still think that.
I mean, has anyone hung out with you more than I have at this point?
Me and Tazira were killing some birds together on the ship.
I think she was trying to keep them away from you, to be honest.
No wonder they disappeared. I'm gonna have to talk to her about that.
Yeah, she was actually kind of really upset. I did see a couple tears. She did
I have to
very
tell her
sad.
not to do that anymore.
I
Gonna
think
have
she
to tell her
wants them
stop messing
alive.
with my plants.
What plans do you have killing them?
Keeping them away from me.
Oh,
They
maybe
carry diseases.
fair enough. I think Tazira's trying to make friends with them, so maybe just ask Tazira to have them leave you alone.
I like my plan better, but I'll take it into consideration.
Maybe you should do that. Alright, well then, if that is an invitation for hanging out more with you, I certainly will take it. But for now, I'm going to go back bathe. And he will
Alright.
bow. Think for a second. Kiss your hand and very quickly walk out the door.
After you leave, I will turn to Komori since we never said we left the table and say, that was really weird, wasn't it, Komori?
Yeah, you're telling me. That felt a little too specific.
I mean, I don't even know.
I was
you
really weirded
guys.
out why he acted like you weren't there.
I thought I
you know
said
what?
I went
You know-
to go
you know,
find Nyx.
Nick
So that
never left the
Komori-
table.
You know what? For being big, it means I get to be stealthy for a change. I'll take it.
Let's be
you
real
hear
honest. You
you hear a voice and you turn.
probably thought Komori was too drunk.
That's probably fair. She was over at the bar drinking and just listening, I guess. But you hear a voice and you turn and look and you see what looks to be a kind of teenage-ish aged girl with very bright eyes and kind of like very brassy hair, and she's kind of sitting there looking like she's been sitting there for a while, and she goes, yeah, I don't even know you guys, and I thought that was weird.
Who the heck is this guy?
I've got no idea.
Beat him up, Komori.
Didn't Tobias tell— No, you don't want to beat me up. Didn't Tobias tell you I was here? I came to meet you all. I mean, you are Tazira's friends. I'm Silixa.
If he did, it was during the part I was ignoring him, so.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Nice to meet you, C.
Nice to meet you too. Oh, I get a nickname? Oh
Hold
my
on.
goodness.
1 second, I have to write your name down so I don't forget it.
Damn, I didn't even get a nickname.
Okay.
But
What
your name's Big C.
What?
are we like?
Yeah, we always call you the Big C behind your back.
Are we like sisters now? If you're Big C and I'm Little C?
No.
Oh.
Oh, you guys can be sister, yes.
Oh, that's what I meant. Although it doesn't make
No
sense.
offense.
It's kind of ironic because I am bigger than her.
So,
Is she?
do you not have friends? Half the fun of friends is irony.
Oh no, she's definitely smaller than you. She's shorter than you. Not nearly as broad. She looks like a little, like, lanky teenage girl.
Oh, thank God. I got scared.
Buff as hell.
Irony, that's super funny. Well, it's nice to meet you. I heard your name is Nyx, your name is Komori, and the weird one who ran away is Ravasi. So,
It's pronounced Rivase.
Ravase. Interesting. Okay. That's not how he
I
said
thought it was Revasol.
Yeah, but you can't read, Komori.
I can read.
Sly's dying.
I've been
I
under
just
the wrong
I just
impression
don't
this
speak
whole
whatever
time.
that is. I can read it. I just can't, speak whatever
Listen,
fancy
that's
elvish.
on me,
bullshit it is.
Komori. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
You know what? But you know what? There's one thing you can do. If there was anything, Nyx, and I'm gonna bring out some of that ghostly green tea, and just goes.
Yeah, I don't feel that
You
bad.
you gotta slam him.
I don't feel that bad about it.
Not even a little.
Okay, I'll take a sip.
Not even.
You
It's
take
good
a sip.
stuff.
It's pretty good, but it's alcohol, and you don't like alcohol very much.
You can even just swish it in your mouth and spit it out. That's fine.
Keep it in my mouth longer? No thanks.
So are you guys actually gonna go to Deadstone
Oh my gosh, I
Cleft?
forgot you were here.
Oh, that's rude.
Sorry. I have a short attention span.
Yeah, apparently. And I thought I was bad. But I heard you guys were gonna go after the stone giants.
Whatever Big C tells me to do, I do. And I pat Komori on the back.
Ooh, are you the leader?
I shake my head behind
Not
Komori so
even
she
in the
can't see.
slightest.
Are you shaking your head no or yes?
I shake my head yes.
Oh, okay. She's like nodding and kind of smiling, like, yeah, I got you. And then she like winks at you, Nyx.
Oh no, I'm not.
Well, I mean, leaders can be big and strong, so it makes sense. Although Zari's really smart, so.
In all fairness, she knows exactly what we're doing half the time anyway.
Okay.
Such a humble leader.
So maybe I should tell her my information.
Whoa,
all things
whoa.
considered.
Maybe. Hold on. Maybe she should tell us and we should vet it, Komori, before it gets to our leader's ears.
Yeah, fair.
Well, if I have information, then it's only fair that you give me something for my information, is it not?
Depends. If you want to discuss fairness, fairness would be in the eye of the beholder. And from where me and Komori sit, you giving us that information would help us save the world, and it is just fair for you to help save the world. But if you're an asshole and need something more than that, I guess you're an asshole and need something more than that.
I'm a dragon who has a horde, let's be real. However, I will say that I exchange in information. So if you have information for me, maybe I'll share my information with you.
Would the amount of toes Komori has interest you?
No. Unless you don't have a normal amount of toes.
It's
Now
a
I'm
surprising
interested.
number.
Why is it a surprising number?
Maybe Komori will even tell you the story.
Go ahead and roll me a charisma check.
It's just a 14.
Okay. She kind of squints at you, and then she grins, and she goes, maybe she will tell me the story. Well, tit for tat. I will tell you that I've been to Deadstone Cleft, and it had a lot of creepy noises coming from it. I actually scouted it myself. Thank you very much. How many toes do you have?
Yeah, I got 10.
Well, Komori, so I'm not made a liar. Put your feet up here. You're gonna have to sacrifice your pinky toe, and I'll pull out my side.
What?
Come on, don't be scared,
I-
Big C.
I literally have all 10. What do you mean you're calling me a liar?
No, I'm the liar. Don't do this to me, Komori.
You know what? This is just getting out of hand. I gotta go.
Aw,
Put your
you're not
foot
gonna
up
get a
your
toe cut
Komori.
off?
For a one-time gag, no.
Oh.
Well, it's a lifelong gag if you do it.
Yeah, it would be a lifelong gag. Well, I do have more information. However, I'm not willing to trade with you anymore because you tricked me. So, unfortunately, you.
What if Komori lets me cut her toe off in front of you right now?
I'm less interested in a toe than like an interesting artifact with a story or more information or like gems.
Okay, well, you came to the wrong people then, buddy. Stop wasting our time.
Stop wasting my time. You're the one
You
who
approached
lied
us,
to my. You're
you
the one
creep.
who lied to my face.
You hid in the corner of the room creeping on us and then tried to target us.
Go
What do you
ahead and
think
roll
we
me a
are?
Constitution saving throw, Nix.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
It's an 18.
You feel a sleepiness come over you as she opens her mouth and exhales, and a gas kind of fills the area, but you overcome it. And she goes, "You're rude."
I'm immune to magical sleep anyways.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'll yawn her. I'll yawn her off. You're a weak little dragon. Get out of here.
I don't like you anyway. To Zari! And then
I
she
stick my
runs
tongue
up.
out and.
She runs up and is ascending up.
At that point, I just turn over to Nix and just go, look, for what it's worth, it's not worth a fucking pinky toe.
I just shrug at you and take another drink of the green drink.
I told you it's good.
It's not.
Damn, talking on my bossy shit over here.
I think with that we
shudders in his bath.
Yeah, I think with that we fade over to Ravasi, who shudders in his bath, and then fade up to Zyra as you finish setting up your ritual with Tobias. Do you want it to just be Tobias and you, or are you wanting the group to be present?
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get Ravasi.
His hair is like super shampooed. He's like, give me 20?
Can you get a leave-in conditioner?
You look to the side and there's absolutely a leave-in conditioner there.
Perfect. Yeah. Give me 10 then.
Absolutely.
Frantically get dressed.
You ascend past a very beautiful library that is super luxurious and has tons of couches and tons of very interesting looking books. Past what looks to be a very open arena, and then a level that kind of looks like a nest and also like a laboratory. And then what looks to be a apartment, so kind of like where you assume Tobias would live, with a spiral staircase all the way up to an observatory. So many levels.
As we're walking up,
He really sticks to the wizard aesthetic, huh?
Fair warning, if this goes really badly, I might be insane until next morning. If that's the case, can you just help me save a little bit of face in front of the others?
Of course.
Thank you.
I will just act more of the fool.
Well, let's see if an ancient lost god has been trying to contact me about my cart's extended warranty.
Ah. Classic.
Okay. Well, with that, you have all of the stuff set up. Ravasi, you see the observatory before you. It has kind of like a very plush carpet, and the whole ceiling is painted in magical stars. And as you look at it, you think it's just a painting at first, but as you're looking at it, you see that it's actually kind of moving a little bit. And you recognize the night sky that's legitimately above you. A large telescope kind of pokes out of the center, and a very sassy looking Tressum kind of flies around the top and then lands on Tobias's shoulders. That's not Mipit. I think you met Astra the last time you guys were there. But you see that there is what looks to be a kind of spiral shape of crystals and candles kind of set out and drawn together with chalk and ruins. And Tobias kind of tells you exactly where to stand, and he goes, just be careful. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work, so I don't know what the magical backlash is, but here should be safe. And then he, like, walks away, and then he, as an afterthought, runs back over, and he just draws a circle around you.
And where are you trying to contact again?
I'm trying to contact, how do I pronounce it? Visna? I'm trying to contact Visna on presumably the Plane of Dreams?
What was that, Ravasi?
He said, okay.
Okay. Tobias goes, are you ready, child?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. He instructs you to stand on the center.
Mm-hmm.
And he stands on the end of the spiral. And he goes, okay, so I haven't done this before, but theoretically it should work. So, no time like the present to try and find out. And he, like, grins at you a little bit. And he uses, you watch as he pulls out, Ravasi, what looks to be a small pearl. And he goes, oh, nope, not that one, wrong one. And he pulls out another one. He goes, there we go. This should be more powerful. And he pulls it in between his hands. And you watch as a mote flies out. 1, 2, 3. And then 4, 5, 6. And then a third one flies out. And they all kind of go down in between the ground as he actually fully crushes the pearl. And they go out down to the ground and begin to light up all of the different, like, the flames on the candles begin to light, the crystals begin to glow, the lights in the room immediately go out, and the whole room begins to fill with a lot of this very cerulean blue energy. And it's very... You feel a rush of wind that kind of rushes through the whole space. And rush of wind that kind of rushes through the whole space, and they connect one by one in the spiral to Tazira standing in the center. Tazira, you say her name. Vesna.
Mm-hmm.
The energy takes you through the aurora borealis of the north, swirls of teals and purples, past the stars of this world, their light bright beyond your vision, through planets and flares of colors into a mist that grows and grows ever thicker. You begin to see reflections, hear voices, things of your past, things of the futures you've seen, and things you don't recognize. Then it stops, and you see the constellation before you, still in the mist, but still glowing. You glow closer to the center, and a golden figure, very feminine with long hair, almost like a golden outline, steps out of the center star. Hello, Stardust. You've called, and I have answered. This call limits you to 5 questions, so ask, and I will answer as I am able. And in this liminal space, you look down and you see your body made of the swirling night sky and constellations as it often is. And you see the constellation of the Dreamer is present, but Vesna's constellation is reflected.
Why did you choose me?
It's as I said. You called, and I've answered. And when I answered, I saw the strings of fate. And so I stayed.
Tazira will kind of nod. It's very kind of obvious in all of her things that, like, she didn't expect to get this far. She doesn't. It's this very moment of, like, walking into a room and realizing that you are the smallest fish there now, and you are so out of your depth. And she'll kind of grab her hands. Okay. Are you connected to the Ordning in any way, or the problems happening right now?
No. But I see that they could ruin this world. And it's a world that I would like to be a part of, and one that I do not think should be ruined yet. Plus, I think it makes a great story.
So, what do you want? What's driving you?
I see you've discovered who I am originally. I was known as the goddess of fate and stories. What drives me is a little ambiguous. A good story, if you knew the answer to it, if you knew what was going to happen, then would it be a good story after all? Now, granted, stories do follow patterns, and see, that's the fun part, the predictability, but at the same time, good stories need a good twist. My motivation... I wish to see a world that continues to have these stories, to have these heroes that rise to the challenge of fate, to have these heroes with the ability to change the fate of the world with their choices. That is a world that I wish to be a part of. And I slumber.
I guess kind of on that, because I'm trying to figure this out, and if you're the goddess of fate, do you have any advice for how I can stop Ravasi from meeting his? Or at least the current one that he thinks he has?
Ooh, roll me... For the sake of this, we're gonna call it an intelligence check. Roll me just a straight intelligence check.
Alrighty.
Oh my god.
Now,
I didn't think this information was gonna come out this soon. She looks at you, and then she snaps her head to kind of the area where the spiral would be, where Ravasi would be standing, and she goes, "Oh. Interesting. He has my child's hand on him. My daughter is not an ambivalent goddess. Although I wouldn't call her a goddess at all. She had power simply because it was birthed. And she did not do good things with it. I see the strings of fate around his heart, around his family. And I see how it's connected to you. There are many versions of this story where you free him. There's many versions of this story where you do not, and he dies, or he betrays you unintentionally.
Got it.
I'm not going to
Right.
apologize for my child's actions, but I do think I brought you together for a reason, even if I did not know the reason at the start.
Tazira will nod. I can see the beauty of it to an extent. Let's see. Is there anybody who I shouldn't trust right now who has it that you know about?
Did you say who has it?
Yeah, so is there anybody who has my trust right now who shouldn't?
Okay. Trust is difficult. Trust is fleeting. You are a perceptive one. Not only do you see fate and have good judgment in general, I believe that those you walk with, you can absolutely trust, and you should trust. Trust is the foundation of any group. I believe that those who mentor you, you should also trust. Those who guide you. And then she turns and looks at you fully for a moment. Trust is fickle. I'm not telling you not to trust someone, but I'm telling you beware. You are your own person. And while the hands of those who have guided you throughout were good and well-meaning, learn to trust yourself. And you just see a flash of a constellation behind you, that looks like a emperor sitting on a throne.
Thank you, Vishna. It's been an honor. I guess thank you for answering me when I called. I'm gonna try and figure this out.
The lady smiles upon you. And we are linked, you and I now.
Yeah.
Be careful on the way back. And she nods.
I will be back.
And with that, she turns and she walks back into the star, and you feel a pull, a very large tug, from your abdomen, from your heart area as well. And you are pulled back through the mist, back past all of the noises. And I need you to go ahead and make me I think it's a intelligence saving throw.
Gotcha. Yeah, that tracks. I'm not even gonna point at that because I feel like it's fitting here.
Okay. Sounds good. You take 16 psychic damage, and you get the sense from what you understand of Contact Other Planes, you normally would do this on the way in. So the fact that it's happening on the way out, you get the sense that she was protecting you. And you kind of have that thought in your head. And then you hear the word, the Emperor, the Emperor, the Emperor, the Hand. And then your mind breaks. Ravasi, you watch as in the center of this ritual, suddenly it's fine. Everything's going well. You're just watching her stand there, and she is glowing from the inside. The cerulean energy is coming out of her eyes, her fingertips. Her hair's rising and swirling around. Tobias looks completely nonplussed and unconcerned. And then for a moment, you see just a flash of her body appears to be made of starlight. And then it cracks. And one by one...
Did I do anything in this moment?
It's too fast, I would say. I would say you instinctually step out of the chalk circle, and you watch as Tobias is very much watching, and you watch in like super quick succession, all of the crystals crack, all of the candles, the light goes out, and Tazira falls to her knees, and when she looks back up at you, her mind is not all there.
And like already it is this almost constant kind of like dribble of words that she is just running through. Seven crows going to the north. Emperor's hands on the sky. So you have 7 flower petals dripping down. Just a total unintelligible. There's nothing out of there that is making any sort of sense.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna like try to like scoop her up and kind of hold her comfortably.
Tobias kind of looks and walks up, and as you're holding her, he rubs a hand on her forehead and kind of smooths her hair back a bit and just says, she mentioned that occasionally her mind would break a bit after some of her visions. She should be fine in the morning.
This isn't something she can fight. It just wears off on its own.
It does. Unfortunately, I'm not a cleric.
Yeah, I sometimes regret that sometimes, but you don't really get to choose those things in your life.
Oh, I suppose I could have chosen, although that would have been a very bad choice considering the gods of the world that I was once upon are not here. But I just rely on my own power. And he like kind of pats your hand. Take good care of her. Water will help a little. But I think that it's best if she rests.
Yes. And he will get her down to her bedroom.
she is like, as she's walking, it is this obsessive counting of almost everything, and then just more and more, like, for a lack of a better term, like, she's waiting for anything that she's walking past to be a portent of doom, is what it kind of comes across, but it's not intelligible.
He bowls. Iris, you're okay. We're all safe here.
Red sun rising in the morning, go down in the west, should be going down in the east. Wait, no, should be going down in the west.
He's
We're
gonna start humming and see if that kind of, because he's dealt with something similar to this before, but he's gonna see if he can kind of calm her.
I think that
And
would be
sing
cool.
just a very quiet song. DM, if you want me to roll something for that, I will happily do that.
It's just making me cry. So I think as Ravasi is carrying Tazira down this tower, humming softly as the sun is setting and the stars are lighting up above, that this is where we are going to end our session. I know. Amazing job, guys. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. Yep. Super exciting. It's really cool what the dice give, and how things go here. So I'm
The dice taketh.
and what the dice taketh away. I'm very excited to see bits and pieces more as things come out, but I'm also very excited you now have some information and can get more information from your little dragon friend on some of the stone giants. We also had quite a bit of lore tonight, so thank you for enjoying the lore drop and the beautiful visions there. But I hope you all enjoyed. So if you're with us on Twitch, stick around. We'll chat for a little bit after. If you're with us on YouTube, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out the podcast as well, and make sure you check out all our links in the description. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. Goodbye!